Okay, idiots. Time to play Find the Geriatric.
I'm gonna turn my audio down so that way I can talk while the intro to this map plays out. Welcome back to Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Zombies, and we're gonna be talking about a few things. Number one is just how I'm kind of feeling after so far four maps. We're on map 5. That's right. We're on the 5th map. Basically, kind of want to talk about a couple different things. One of them being how the grind for Nebula just in general has been. How I'm kind of feeling going into the next map, which I believe is called Shattered Veil, I think? I've seen people call it that anyway. So, and also just doing my kind of thoughts on the tomb and what my thoughts on the tomb, thoughts on the story and everything so far, and just generally feelings on COD Zombies as a whole right now. Because I have a bit of things to talk about. Not all of them are necessarily bad, but a lot of them are good. I have to say, Easter egg wise, Treyarch's doing really good. I actually am glad that we're getting Easter eggs that are easy, but not like super easy. Like, we're not talking BO3 levels of easy or Cold War levels of easy. We're probably somewhere in the vein of like BO4, like that isn't Blood of the Dead. Like the Foliage or 9 or Ancient Evil or Alpha, Tag, those kind of type of things. Maybe the harder end of BO3 with like a Gorod, Rev, or DE if you're doing no gobble. Like, it also is very nice that gobblegums don't feel necessary. Like, they're definitely helpful. They are very much helpful. But I don't feel like it's very necessary. Also, if you're curious how I'm doing no gobblegums on my screen, I have just the 3 whimsicals that I've used up. Generally, though, I feel like the game as a whole right now is just, not to say stale, but it's like, I don't want to say I'm burned out either. I just have no interest in really playing it that much right now. I have other games that have caught my attention. I've been getting back into Splatoon 3, because I've been grinding out doing the side order stuff for to finish off that series. Obviously, there's Breath of the Wild that I'm dipping my toes back into, playing that off and on. Obviously, I have other games I'm playing. I'm playing a lot of Destiny 2 with the Guardian games and Heresy and all that. But, like, right now, it's just like, with the delay of Season 3, and Season 3 seemingly more or less about returning back to the god-awful map that is Verdansk, I'm just kind of numb to this at this point. And it's part of the reason why a lot of the weapons that are, like, the melee weapons, I've only just gotten the Nunchucks Gold, as you can see. I'm working on Opal now, so I'm playing Citadel. I would do Tomb, but the Tomb doesn't have easy access to melee Macchiato. But, like, I'm not necessarily saying I'm burned out. It's just I have no interest in really playing in the game outside of either content or and like that. And it's like I'm always like it kind of sucks. That's why I think that's just kind of the mindset games have kind of given me, is that if I'm not progressing, the game is awful. That's part of the reason why I think it's part of the reason why I've been trying to just be a little bit more lax when it comes to doing stuff off camera when it comes to story-based games. Like, especially ones like Subnautica, or if I ever do games like Slime Rancher or Minecraft, like in the Minecraft series. I want to be able to do stuff that is boring if I don't have a topic to talk about off camera. So, like, for example of it is, like, a lot of people, when they do mining-related stuff that they're just playing, they'll kind of talk about what's going on. They'll do kind of like a little podcasty type thing. And then, obviously, for those people who want to skip it, they can skip it, or if they want to hear more about it. But generally speaking, I'm, like, very much trying to not force myself to do content if I'm not enjoying it. That's kind of the reason why I haven't really played much COD. And if I have, it's just been like multiplayer, covering a new weapon, whatever. Honestly, I've been enjoying playing Destiny. I'm trying to branch out and do more games. I've been playing a lot of Balatro on my own personal time because it is very fun and addicting. I've also been playing a lot of, as you can see here, I've been playing a lot of Marvel Rivals. As you saw, I did the Phasmophobia video yesterday. I'm trying to branch out and do more. Obviously, there's other games I want to do. I want to play Repo really badly. Unfortunately, just haven't been able to afford it due to having a job and rent. Having a job that pays decently well, but also having rent and bills to pay. Which, if you want to support me in a personal way, the code link in the description basically allows me to be able to create this content and not have to worry about taking money out for a game and then not being able to pay a bill type thing. But, yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on right now in the content world that I have planned. I'm working on trying to get off my butt and actually do an edit that's going to be maybe like 10 minutes long at most. More or less. It might be a little bit longer. On Destiny. I got a lot of plans. It's just been kind of dull right now in terms of games. I know I mentioned in a video last week or so where it's like gaming is very dull. It's not to say that it's boring and there's nothing to do. It's that I have no motivation to do it, and even if I did have the motivation to play a certain game, there's nothing new going on in that game right now that really wants me to play. Like right now, Overwatch 2 is gonna be getting its new hero Freya very soon, and I want to try that out. She seems fun. We also got Marvel Rivals presumably getting its new season sooner rather than later. There's Clone Rumble that I did try. I'm not gonna be doing every limited time mode, but a lot of the ones that seem kind of fun I want to do. Clone Rumble just seems kind of not great. At least from what I've played. There's also, generally I want to do a lot of collab-based stuff. I'm trying to reach out and do more stuff with other streamers. I'm trying to reach out and do more games and kind of break out of my own comfort zone when it comes to different games. I just watched the Parasite shoot through that wall. It's fine. I'm also trying to get off my butt and stream. I've just had no motivation to, and I've also just been not feeling the greatest. I haven't really talked about it, but I did go through a little bit of a breakup on Valentine's Day, so I'm still reeling from that. Not letting it get to me, but it's just been kind of rough because of how it happened. I'm not going to go in detail about it. I don't want to talk about it. Don't want to start drama or anything, but it just wasn't a great way of having that end. That's enough about me. I want to talk more about how I'm kind of feeling about zombies as a whole right now. Right now, I think story-wise, this feels very nice, but I will say that the intel and the story does feel kind of not sloppy. It's not the word I'm looking for. It feels like there's a cohesive story that's missing a lot of important pieces that I feel like the intel are supposed to fill in, and it's either doing half the work or not, or none at all. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just feels like that the intel's been lacking, which makes sense because I did hear that the person who worked on intel in Cold War works at DICE now, which is like, oh, okay. I'm not necessarily like complaining that it feels kind of lackluster, but I could definitely feel that the story, not as a whole, is suffering, but on the intel side of things, definitely feels like is lacking, and I feel like that's part of the reason why I'm not enjoying. Not necessarily enjoying the story as much, but it feels like that's why I'm as confused as I am about the story. But overall, I'd say I'm really enjoying it. As for the tomb, disregarding the lack of voice lines and the cutscene being as lackluster as it was, I think the Easter egg and in general everything involved in the tomb was very fun. It is really much the Easter egg is very easy, but the boss fight has a lot of setup. While something like Citadel, the boss fight is fairly easy. Not it's like dumb easy where I can fall asleep and do it, but it's fairly easy enough once you know how to do it, that I can feel confident that, like, oh, I could easily probably solo this if given enough attempts. But the actual setup of the Easter egg is the harder of the two, similar with Terminus. Like, Terminus Easter egg isn't necessarily hard, it's the very end that's difficult with the bomb step and the boss fight being very, very demanding. But the tomb's Easter egg is very easy, other than like the ice staff and the boss fight itself. But even then, once you kind of know what you're doing and you kind of learn how to do it, it's not that bad. But like, I think a really good example of it is, of how I'm kind of feeling about zombies right now, is I'm excited for Shattered Veil and I'm excited to see where it's going, but according to how the intel's kind of setting things up, it seems like it's going to be a very predictable ending, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it still worries me in the sense of, I really hope it's not going to be the predictable ending, and they're going to do the predictable thing, but then kind of 180 us again. I don't want to talk about it specifically, but Intel's kind of rumoring it to be us going to the mansion and Janus Towers as a trap. But I'm not saying it is going to be that, but if it is one of those things and it just leaves it at like, oh, this entire thing was a trap, I'm like, man, you had good opportunity to do something interesting. Everything I've seen about the mansion definitely seems like they are leaning more towards Richtofen. Having a lot more Richtofen-based stuff, which is good. And it makes me happy, because that is obviously a beloved character. As much as I don't like the Primus crew that much, I am very happy with the portrayal of the crew that we have. Maya's very nice. Carver is gotten funnier, and I've started playing as him a lot more, and I've started enjoying his dialogue a lot more. Gray's great. Weaver's like the only one that I'm like really have any complaints about, and it's more or less like he does not shut up about Richtofen. But then again, given his character's background so far, yeah, fair enough. But just kind of continuing on the point about just generally the story, it's like, it feels like we're going to this ultimate fight, but we are presumably getting at least one other map, at least according to leaks, which I don't like listening to leaks. I very, very seldomly go out of my way to look at them. Unless it literally the only time I ever see leaks is if it comes across my feed on Twitter or Reddit. And even then I very much avoid it because I don't like being spoiled on stuff. I like going into maps very blind. It's something I've been doing since World War II. COD World War II, mind you. And it's something I've enjoyed. It's been allowed me to form my own opinion about a bunch of different games. Much like BO4, much like, not necessarily Infinite Warfare, but much like BO4, Cold War, Vanguard, Modern Warfare Zombies. I feel like I may have a very unpopular opinion when it comes to a lot of those games, but I at least like to say that it's not me touting the same opinion that your favorite YouTuber is touting. You know, I try to at least give reasons as to why, and give reasons as to why I like or dislike it. For example, I know I got asked a lot during the BO3 video that I did. My whole reason why I dislike BO3 is that we've gotten better experiences and more fun to replay experiences than BO3, and BO3's just been out for so long that it's not as fun anymore. And it's like, yeah, well, it has custom zombies. It's like, most of custom zombies, at least on BO3 now, is just kind of trash. There's very little actually good maps, and even then, most of the good maps are either very outdated for custom zombie standards, or aren't as fun as they could be, you know? That's why, part of the reason why I haven't done it anymore, outside of just not having the storage space for it. Part of the reason why is just that I don't find customs that fun anymore. Like, if there's a really good map that somebody finds, or somebody makes a map that has, like, a reference to me in it or something like that, or somebody makes a map for me and they tell me, hey, you should play this, I made it for you, like, I'll play it. But I'm not going to go out of my way to go play BO3 anymore, unless it's, like, for content, as, like, a one-off. But nothing against it, it's not my cup of tea anymore. I know everyone says it's all Warzone-ified zombies, but it's like, I wouldn't even necessarily call it that. I would just say it's a more polished experience compared to what we currently have, which a lot of people would disagree with. I personally feel like the game is in a better spot now than it ever has been. And whenever I got on Cold War or got on this, I actually didn't hate getting on and playing the game. I actually enjoyed launching it. With BO4, it was very much like I enjoyed it to a point, BO3, I enjoyed it to a point as well, but it was like, especially now, if I ever want to go play BO3, I just remember all of that, the time frame, not necessarily the actual game itself. Which is part of the reason why I dislike BO3 as well, is I have a lot of negative memories from the timeline of BO3 to BO4. BO4 mainly, which is, you'd think would be, I would have a more negative opinion towards BO4. But I've had more positive memories on BO4 than I have negative on BO3. That's part of the reason why I dislike BO3. It was a time in my life that was very crap, not that fun, not that great, just did not enjoy anything that was going on, and just didn't want to remember it, and unfortunately every time I play BO3 I remember it. And more so than ever, I'm just trying to kind of do my own thing and have fun whenever I can. That's why I mainly try to prioritize doing BO6 and just kind of have fun with it. Occasionally doing an old school zombies thing with World War II, and I was actually going to do, when I did that World War II video, it was actually going to be on a different map. And then I was going to do Infinite Warfare, but I remembered I don't have any DLC for Infinite Warfare, and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll do Exos, and I'm like, I don't have a DLC for that. So I'm like, I don't want to get the DLCs just for a video. I think I own Outbreak on Advanced Warfare, but that's really about it. I do have them, but a lot of the older maps / other games I don't have the DLC for was a part of an old like game share type thing that we were doing, which I don't like supporting that much anymore. And even if I did, I don't like doing it just because it's a hassle, and because obviously, especially since I plan on moving and stuff like that, and because I just generally don't like doing it that much anymore. I just prioritize doing that. I know it's very much like, oh, but you can give your friends free things. Like, yeah, and what if I'm not friends with those people anymore? That's part of the reason why. Like, there's some people that I would be willing to do it with, but even then, I just don't want to. As for just generally BO6 zombies as a whole right now, in terms of like content-wise, I think overall this is the most polished offering we've had in terms of a zombie cycle ever. And I'm excited to see where BO6 is going to take us. That was my food. Sorry about that. I'm very excited where BO6 is going to take us, but I'm also excited to see where we're going next after Shattered Veil and after that. Because obviously, again, I don't like listening to leaks, but if the leaks about the next game are true, we're getting a like BO2 sequel, or yeah, BO2 sequel type thing. Which, if that's true, that we're getting another Treyarch game back to back, I actually might be at least excited to play another Call of Duty game. That's going to be good. But there is the obvious thing that I want to bring up, and that is the community has just become so vitriolic towards everything that's been made that isn't BO3 that I have seriously considered not playing Call of Duty after BO6. As of right now, that might be the case. It is entirely dependent on if the leaks about the next game being effectively BO2 sequel are true, and if it is going to be anything at all what they've rumored it to be, where it's going, the maps are what they're rumored to be. Even if that's the case, I'm very much going to be treating it as a thing where I won't be covering anything other than the zombies. And if I do anything related to multiplayer, it's because it's like a collab-based thing that I want to do. And even then, it'll be very much just like the one-off thing. I might not be playing it with too many other people. Just because I'm just getting tired, man. I'm not of the game, just of the people. Like, there are going to be the few friends I still play games with that play Call of Duty, but I think, honestly, I'm just getting burnt out on the community more than I am the game. So maybe it'll just be one of those things where I just take a break from COD for like maybe not necessarily a season, but like interact with the community for like a couple of days. Cause that's basically what I've been doing when it comes to like kind of staying off Twitter, mainly. It's because that's where most of it is. But it's like every time I go on Twitter to like see, oh, what's this? I need to learn about this development from a game. I scroll for like 10 minutes, and it's like, Call of Duty drama, Call of Duty drama, VTuber drama, Call of Duty drama. It's like, Can I have a day where nothing goes wrong, please? I know it's like, oh, you're on Twitter, everything goes wrong. It's like, yeah, I know. I still don't want to see it, man. But that being said, I guess I'll kind of just give minor updates about kind of what the plan is for COD, mainly right now. I'm going to basically be covering Bo6 as intended. I'm going to continue to cover it. I was going to do my normal, like, I got the final camo video. I probably will still do that. It just may not be in the same way I normally do, where it'll basically be I got Nebula and every single weapon. I got the Dark Journey calling card, which I should be getting sooner rather than later. And then as for multiplayer, I don't know if I'll actually be getting it, if only because I don't care about multiplayer, which I know sounds weird, but this is the first time in a long time that I genuinely not dislike the multiplayer, but this is the first time I've genuinely just not cared in a very long time, which is saying something, because I enjoyed Cold War multiplayer a lot, but maybe it's just because overall I'm just not enjoying the multiplayer grind, or I just prefer I've always preferred zombies, or I don't like the way Call of Duty plays anymore. But I just have no interest in grinding out the camos on multiplayer. I'll still try my best. I'm just gonna basically say it like I might still be grinding this post next Call of Duty launch type thing, if I'm actually gonna try and grind it out. But even then, I just don't know how to feel about it. As for, I guess, the big elephant in the room is going to be the Warzone camo. No, not doing that. Don't like Warzone. Will I do a video on Warzone Verdansk? Yes, and I'll be talking crap about Verdansk the entire time. I don't like that map. That map is awful. If you think it's good, you're lying. You are wrong. The entirety of the pandemic has blinded your reason as to why that map is good. Other than that, I guess I could just kind of summarize my thoughts really quick if you just wanted to do a TLDR or TLDW. I feel kind of burnt out on COD. I'm not saying I am, but I feel just like I feel nothing. I feel no hype for COD, really. Which is weird to say because this is my game. This is the game that I love. I feel like there's nothing for me when it comes to playing COD anymore, and as optimistic I am for the future, I don't know if I'm going to be there for the future of this franchise, and it sucks, but that's kind of where I am with it. And it has nothing necessarily to do with the fact of how the game's being treated, part of it. It's more or less just like the community being as vitriolic as it is towards anything positive is just... It's just tiring, man. Like, I can't say something positive about a game that I like, and I can't say something negative about a game I dislike, even if it's the correct opinion type thing, because it's either you have a correct opinion or you don't, and that's what drives me mad. It's like, I just want to... Oh, I didn't know that did shadow damage. I guess it makes sense. I just want to be able to play the game that I love and enjoy, and not feel like I'm being forced into basically clickbaiting every video saying this game is bad and stuff like that. Because I hate it. I hate the constant negativity about games nowadays, man. Because it's just tiring. It is just so tiring. It's why I've been enjoying playing games and not caring anymore. That's why I've been primarily just staying off social media and just staying in my bubble. And just doing my own thing. That being said, again, I'll see you guys next video. Like, share, make. Everybody, stay safe. I'm gonna basically just continue grinding out camos where I can and all that. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for what is going to be the finale of Doom 1. Then Thursday will be a video on Side Order, actually, since I actually am almost done. I basically want to do the dev diaries from the lore, and then presumably the final run of the tower, and then go from there. And then I still have to do finale of Octo expansion. I'm probably going to work on that, although that's going to be a lot more of a grindy based thing. And then I also need to do the finale of the main game of Splatoon 3, because that is a thing that I need to do. And then expect Crisis 2 to start presumably some point next month. Basically, it's going to be coming out after Danganronpa. But expect Gears 4 to start up next week as well. So, yeah, I'll see you guys next through whatever I said to make. Everybody, stay safe. Compliment your local, compliment somebody today, because you never know when somebody might actually need it, like, genuinely. The thing I always say is, like, I always like to tout the same thing that Dead Meat does, where it's like, be good people, but genuinely, sometimes all it takes is a compliment just to make someone's day feel a little bit better. So, yeah, I'll see you guys next video. I sent to make. Everybody, stay safe and be good people, just because sometimes that's all we need in our lives, is someone being nice to us to make us feel better. Yeah. See you guys tomorrow with Doom. And also, good lord, I knew that was gonna happen. God freaking dang it!